Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your magical moon message. Shout out to Khalifa Kush. This is the Peace Dealer. Moon is in Virgo, Sun is in Cancer. The moon is making a third house activating aspect off of the new moon in Cancer. In that, before its first quarter square, it's activating this new moon cycle in the third house to Cancer, in the sign of Virgo, opposite Neptune, trine Pluto, and Uranus in Taurus, forming a grander trine to make sure you are very well aware upon the activation of new psychic abilities. Oh, I got you. My bad for that. Ironically, what I was just in the middle of explaining, I just did, in that the new cycle of creating new abilities. You're now in the process of mastering it, and I just use my abilities right now. What you're mastering, kindness. Fun fact, Virgo is not only the vibration of facts, it is the expression of love, Leo, through kindness. Yes, because honestly, the real superpowers are the virtues. If you think the seven deadly sins, the actual virtues of it are your superpowers: chastity, patience, kindness, amongst other things like temperance. Those are actually more valuable than Marvel, DC powers you see, but you're still awakening supernatural abilities. And the purpose of this transit is to definitively step into an initial sense of mastery. Keep this in mind, because 6 months ago, when the sun was in Cap and the moon was in Virgo, we were mastering our superpowers. The same superpowers we were using to start and tap into these new abilities. It's almost as if you mastered a sense of a philosophy or a whole subject, and now you're coming back around to, within that subject, learn a brand new lesson, or a brand new lesson within a new subject that you'll master 6 months from now. You'll see it's a little bit of both. So now that the moon's in Virgo, you are definitively mastering new psychic abilities that, since this new moon, you fleshed in through since 2 to 3 weeks ago, where you're using elements of these abilities so that you can actually express a new element of your energy signature. So basically, all I'm saying is that the practical element of Earth with Virgo is going to have you, with your own physical body, begin the process of perfecting in your attitude, because the third house is the house of skills and abilities, literal psychic abilities. Mercury has just entered Cancer, so your mind's ability, if we think that your consciousness runs off of your brain that processes in a vat, even though you think you're a body, you're in a simulation and your brain is in a vat right now. Oops, I said way too much. But this is your brain that's processing this. That's Mercury, the function and the electricity that enables neurons to fire throughout all your brain. That's all mercurial. And that in Cancer is allowing you to process psychic phenomena. Hug a Mercury in Cancer, because they have to deal with people gaslighting them all the time when they hear how people feel, and then people are like, "Oh, I don't really feel like that," and Mercury in Cancer's like, "You really gonna lie to me, bro? Like, I could literally talk directly to your feelings, but okay, let's play this game." But it is what it is, because you're a Mercury in Cancer now for the next 30 days, even though it's gonna be less than 30 days, and like, you can hear people's emotions and feelings. Here's the thing though, this processing of psychic ability is going to enable your mind, which usually likes to be in the air sign and deal more with the logic of language, is going to be processing subtle psychic vibrations in the open space through energy, emotions, and this is going to enable you to master, practically, of course, through repetition, focus, and consistency, whether you're mastering, and when I say mastering psychic abilities, this could be you mastering a new bench press, or it could be you mastering a new tarot reading ability. This mastery is going to enable you over the next couple of months to fully come into mastery once we step into Virgo season. So this is actually that process of beginning initially mastering psychic abilities, and based off of the energy you manifested yesterday while the moon's in Leo, this is actually going to break you through. This is one of those breakthrough transits coming into the moon in Pisces, where you're realistically going to experience the development and mastery of supernatural psychic ability relative to what you think is normal. because of the trine of Uranus and Taurus, there is going to be an element of unconventionality and progressive nature of anchoring with the opposition of Neptune and Pisces. Are you ready? 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 Literal supernatural and paranormal phenomena. So the moon in Virgo is going to actually ground the real experience of, I don't know, being a medium, talking to ghosts. Your unconscious is literally guiding you through this process. And this is why many of you may have been inundated with science fiction narratives, books, movies, because you actually need something like that to stimulate your imagination so that you can ground it here in reality, which is all fun and games until you actually do this for real. And a lot of you today and tomorrow are going to be like, holy shit, even though I've seen synchronicity after synchronicity after synchronicity after synchronicity after synchronicity, this is actually real, which if you think about it, it's weird that I'm surprised about this at this stage of this journey, but it's still no less surprising. And just embrace it, because it's going to get really fun, even though there's a lot of crazy stuff happening. And may I remind you, we're in a motherfucking apocalypse cycle and the world is ending. It's, you know, with all the distraction, for some reason, very easy to forget that the world is fucking ending. And now when I say that, please don't get afraid and be like, the world's ending and blah, blah. It's the end of an old civilization, the beginning of a new civilization. Think the end of the old pharaoh age, where people used to live as serfs and peasants, right? That age ended. If it makes you feel any better, this is not the first apocalypse that this world has had. And this is not the first age that we're stepping into. This has happened many times before, and you are alive during this period. So I just wanted to remind you that not only are we in apocalypse or getting ready for Armageddon, please make sure you make that daily decision to choose from here with who you serve, and don't be lukewarm, because God will spit you out its mouth. And this is where personally you also want to be very mindful of what values you're developing, because this will really influence the nature of how you master your psychic power and ability. Why is this important? Because the moon's going to enter Libra, and as you're now taking literal, practical psychic abilities that you'll begin to, over the next 2 weeks with repetition, master, the square to Libra is like, what integrity do you have when you use these abilities with other people? Moon in Libra is going to test, okay, are you going to use your psychic abilities to see how you can get in this person's pants and trample their free will? Or are you going to use your psychic abilities to balance your relationships with others and actually not be a fucking douche? And this is also going to be very amazing and instrumental in calling yourself out on your own BS, because Virgo is really good at doing that. Whenever a Virgo thinks they're perfect, the other mutable side of their Virgo, because it is a mutable sign, lets them, puts them in their place and reminds them how, imperfect they are, which is a lie, Virgo. You are not imperfect. You are definitely perfect. Please embrace that. Don't listen to that dark side of you, Virgo, or Virgo rising, that makes you think you're not good enough. It's literally lies you tell yourself just so you push yourself and you get in this analysis of paralysis and be insecure. You need to fucking stop that shit. And this is where personally you want to be very mindful here, because you're going to be able to come into a real understanding of what about your own attitude and behavior needs to change so that you can maximize the output that you're inputting relative to the mastery of your belief. I'm saying all of this. This is fucking ridiculous, yo. This air sign energy is retarded. Okay, so, I don't have much time to say everything I want to say. I don't want to say everything I have to say, and I have to remind you that we're also in an apocalypse cycle. It's the end of the fucking world. But it's cool because now Mars is in Leo, and so we're going to change your perception around this as you're having more social interaction. And the purpose of this aspect of the apocalypse alpha overdrive is to really connect with your soul group and guild, hence the Aquarius energy. But this is very important. Moon in Virgo is going to give you a sneak peek of what's going to happen when the Sun is Virgo and actually closing King. Oh, God damn it, this is so great. And actually closing King Kong is this Aquarius energy and transform your understanding of the knowledge that's actually collectively being attained. If you think that all of us are puzzle pieces and we're sharing and cultivating knowledge, I'm sorry, it's getting hard for me to take this seriously anymore, but this is me just mastering element of my psychic ability. Oh my God. Okay. Other than that, yeah, this is going to be really dope because the moon is going to, of course, trine Uranus retrograde, King Kong's Chiron, and this is going to be the literal spark that actually applies the unconventionality of your body to actually take place and express itself in this real dimension. While it trines Pluto retrograde, coming to the end of the transit, which is going to ground the intensity of everything that's transforming and awakening your body, while opposite Neptune retrograde to literally ground the reality of paranormal, abstract, metaphysical phenomena in reality so that insight. You can gain a real sense of what's happening that's unseen, because just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It does exist, and Moon and Virgo will help you feel what's real about what you can't see that still exists. For example, a ghost, you can't really touch a ghost, but if you can sense a ghost, the Moon and Virgo will enable you to understand, hey, that moved, and there's nothing here that touched it. So that means it has to be something that I can't see, that I didn't think was real but exists. And so this is opening my mind up to stuff that was metaphysical to me that I didn't want to believe, Pisces, but I can analyze. Virgo is real to a degree because it exists, and we are in the apocalypse. So here's where, personally, this is going to be an amazing transit, because you're not just mastering psychic ability. You just sparked a whole new cycle of understanding your energetic signature. And this transit's going to open the door, like any third house transit, into what's possible with your abilities. And this is tied to the mastery of your attitude. Here's a really, really, really good news that I really hope blesses you. You have not just been evolving. This whole past 6 months has brought, oh my God, what a Gramerson, has gained you an individual setup and understanding of your identity since Capricorn season into Aries and Cancer that will apply. And so because you've done the soul work, your relationship with negative projections is making a 180 today, where you don't have to say a word, because your energy signature and your feelings will counter everything that's accused. You're going to see and hear the same tired excuses, but you've kept the same energy. For those of you who've kept the same energy and stayed true, now it's speaking for yourself. Virgo is the proof, the evidence. Oh, I'm so sorry. How can I forget this? Over the next 48 hours, very crucial whistleblowing, physical evidence, and proof will be laid out, most of which has been, most of which has been available, but is now just being put out, and stuff that is real according to developing situations that is hot on the press. You're going to be dealing with a collective influence that doesn't have all the truth, and so they're not going to, and oh my gosh, this is coming in hot. Imagine if news comes out, but the people who are spinning the news don't know how to spin it yet, because they don't have all the information, because it's a new developing situation. So imagine if I put out the truth and then somebody with a higher following or broadcast than me takes the truth I put out before a wide audience can hear what I did, and they spin that truth. This is what mainstream media does all the time. They get their panties in a bunch because there's like, oh my gosh, there's this information out. So we need to get New York Times, we need to get LA Times, we need to get CNN, we need to get Fox, we need to get all these niggas to put a news story on this. Let Fox argue with CNN so that people think that they're arguing with each other, but we're putting out a fake narrative out there that people are going to eat up, even though the information we're saying about this is not even really true. And so by the time you hear it in the news, it's so far away from what the truth is, you didn't see the original information that was put out. Well, that's not going to happen. The next 48 hours, now social media allows individuals like you and me to put information out that trends, and it's going to, opposite Neptune, really scare mainstream media, because they're not exactly going to know how to spin this real information in a way that won't backfire them. And this is going to create pandemonium until the moon goes into Libra and Scorpio, and then they're able to, with the trine of Neptune, spin it with extra information and know how to do it. But in that short period, be very, very keenly aware and receptive to what is revealed. A lot of details that will add up. Certain things that were hidden will be revealed. By the time you're watching this has already happened. Please feel free to comment below what that is. But outside of that, you're mastering psychic abilities. And not only are you mastering psychic abilities, your own energy signature and the integrity and sincerity of the actions you've done will speak for themselves. And this is going to bring a deeper feeling of comfort. This is why Cancer doesn't have to say a word. Their energy speaks for them. You don't have to respond to all sorts of negative projections, because a lot of what people are saying aren't true, and your own emotions will have you feel that confidence through the Leo manifestation of regal solar royalty. It's also going to be great for understanding, special connections you have with soulmates and other people in your life who are here to see you win. and opening the doorway to actually connect with them instead of, not doing anything. But I have to go. Godspeed. Y'all stay blessed. You're mastering psychic ability and you deserve that. Enjoy that. And until next time,